every one of you, and welcome to Volcanic Insight. Today, we are turning our focus into one of the most humbling and powerful forces of nature, the Taal Volcano.
We know that for many people, especially for those who experience the Taal Volcanic Eruption, the memories are still vivid and the lessons learned remain vital for our future.
In our first segment, we will be sharing their experiences during the Taal Volcanic Eruption. Those who were there when the sky turns into ashes, capturing the intensity of the glow.
Following that, we will transition into the difficult journey of evacuation, the stories of resilience and the challenges faced by leaving home behind.
For our third segment, we are so honored to be joined by an expert who will help us break down the science behind eruption, explaining geologic processes that makes the Taal unique and unpredictable. In our segment, we will also be explaining or discussing the history of Taal.
Finally, for our last but definitely not the least segment, we will wrap up by discussing essential safety protocols and preparations for volcanic eruption, with a guest to ensure that we are all equipped and prepared for what nature might bring our way.
It is a day of education, sharing experiences, reflection, and preparation. We are so glad that you join us as we navigate the story of those people who experienced eruption and the Taal itself.
Before proceeding to our segments, let us all please share some knowledge and information about volcanic eruption. To our reporter, Mr. Warren Bihar.
Good day everyone, I'm Warren Bihar and I'm ready to share some knowledge and information.
Based on our research, volcanic erupts when magma, pressurized gas, and steam builds up beneath the surface, forcing their way to crack in the Earth's crust. They typically erupt when tectonic plates collide or drift apart, with eruptions ranging from sudden explosive events to slow lava flows, sometimes triggered by increased pressure, magma density, or even heavy rainfall.
Volcanoes erupt when molten rocks, which is lighter than the surrounding solid rocks, rises to the surface due to pressure buildup from trapped gases. Some causes of volcanic eruption is when magma builds up in the magma chamber, it forces its way up to the surface and erupts. Thank you for listening. Hope you learned something from me. Let's now proceed to our segments.
We are joined today by someone who was right in the path of the Taal eruption. When the ash began to fall, you were there. Can you take us back to that moment? What was the first sign that something was wrong?
It did not actually start with the bomb, just like other expecting it. The first thing I saw, or the first sign, is the volcanic ash because that is the first thing I noticed inside.
What did you do as you saw that? How did you feel as you realized that it's not just a rumor?
I was nervous. Honestly speaking, I know nothing about volcanic eruptions. It was my first time experiencing disaster. I don't know what about to come. But because of my family guidance, I packed some of my things, especially those important things.
How did you prepare your emergency kit? And was there anything you wish you had packed but didn't?
I didn't really prepare so much because I never thought the impact of the volcanic eruptions will be that long. I found those important things like the certificate, some clothes. And to answer your question, I hope I prepare myself well. Going back at the moment, I wish I prepared my go-out so that I am prepared.
I wish you learned something from that. We really have to prepare not just ourselves, but also the things that we need within. What did you experience as the volcano erupted?
It was so tragic experiencing earthquake during the eruption, ash falls, even our properties or houses are affected.
At what point did you realize that staying was no longer an option?
The earthquake and ash fall we had experienced minor tremors before, but this felt different. It was not just a joke. It was a shaking that made you feel completely unstable. Then the ash fall, it was like anything I ever seen. It was simple dust. It was thick and suffocating.
It's a powerful testament to the ingredient danger. Thank you for walking us through your critical realization and for bringing us to your journey. It truly underscores the overwhelming and unpredictable nature of such an event. And now, let's go proceed to the segment number 2, hosted by Miss Aisha Gonzalez.
For our segment number 2, let's talk about what happened to them and the experiences of the people at the evacuation centers. Many families are forced to leave their safe homes, which is absolutely necessary. But what is life for feeling like inside an evacuation centers? To help us understand, we have Jen Gabriel Amoui to share his experience at the evacuation center.
When the volcano started erupting, we immediately went to the evacuation center with my family for our safety as well.
What experiences have you had?
It wasn't easy because there were so many people in the evacuation center. The space was so limited and we need to adjust. But we are thankful that we are safe. And to the government workers that help us give us food, medicine, and masks.
What were you thinking when you were there?
I think about those people who are struggling. It is really hard. I also think about our house, but more importantly, it's our life, our safety. But the most important is everyone is safe.
Evacuation centers are the most important, especially in natural disasters that happen without us knowing. This shows how important it is to work together and be prepared during a disaster that we don't know when it will happen. Let's now proceed to our third segment, hosted by Sharifin Manan.
For our third segment, we will continue our discussions about the Taal volcano, but this time someone will be joining us. Let us all welcome Mr. Abante, a volcanologist who studies volcanoes and volcanic eruptions. Thank you for staying with us, Mr. Abante.
Thank you, and I'm happy to share more information with all of you.
To start this segment, could you explain to our viewers what a volcano is?
A volcano is an opening of the Earth's surface where magma, gases, and ashes can come out. Magma also is the hot melted rock found under the Earth's surface. Where magma reaches the surface, it is called a volcano. And volcano usually form under the Earth's tectonic plate.
Well, that's such an interesting information, Mr. Abante. Now let's go back to the Taal volcano. Many people have heard about these eruptions, but not everyone understands how it actually happens. Mr. Abante, can you explain us how Taal volcano erupts?
Well, of course, Taal volcano erupts when magma, which is the hot melted rock beneath the Earth, rises toward the surface. As the magma moves upward, gases inside it expand and create pressure under the volcano.
So the pressure is the one that causes the eruption?
Yes, when the pressure becomes too strong, the magma forces its way out through the volcano's crater organs. During an eruption, the volcano can release ash, steam, volcanic gases, and sometimes lava.
I've heard that the volcano can be very explosive. So why is that?
So Taal volcano is located in the middle of the lake. When the hot magma comes into contact with the lake water, it creates steam explosion. This type of eruption is called phreatomagmatic eruption, and it can produce large ash clouds.
So that explains why ash fall spreads to nearby areas when Taal erupts.
Yes, you're correct.
But in terms of its history, Mr. Abante, could you give us some information about its past happening, the Taal volcano?
The Taal volcano has a long and complex history of eruption. It is located in the Batangas province and sits within Taal Lake. Historically, it has erupted more than 30 times since the 16th century. One of the most destructive eruptions occurred in 1754, which lasted for several months and buried towns under the ashes and volcanic materials. Another major eruption happened in 1911, which caused significant damage and the loss of many people's lives.
That must be very alarming. Is the Taal volcano possible to erupt again?
Yes, it is definitely possible. Taal is considered one of the most active volcanoes in the Philippines. However, scientists continuously monitor it using seismic instruments, gas measurements, and satellite observation. These tools help detect signs of rising magma or increased volcano activity so authorities can issue warnings and prepare for more casualties.
I must say, Mr. Abante, being aware every time can make us safe. Not totally safe because, eruption can be dangerous. We doesn't know how big impact it will bring us. But having a right knowledge and awareness about it is key.
Definitely, Ms. Manalo.
Thank you so much for information you have shared with us, Mr. Abante.
So you are very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
And that brings us to the end of this segment about the interview about the Taal volcano. We learned that it is one of the most active volcano in the Philippines and that scientists carefully monitor it to help keep communities safe. Volcanoes like Taal remind us the powerful forces of nature that shapes our planet. And now let's go to our segment number 4.
Hello, dear engineer. Welcome to Volcanic Eruption. This is the segment where we talk about the preparation and safety protocols during a volcanic eruption.
Hello, Alicia. Thank you. I'm glad to be here with you.
When there are events like a volcanic eruption, many people cannot avoid the panic that actually occurs when they are in the situation. Sometimes it is because of fear that they have. What preparations and safety protocols should we need?
Preparation of emergency kits like go bag that contains water, easy to open canned foods, clothes, flashlight, medicine, and even the important documents are necessary. It's also important to have an evacuation plan to ensure the rapid, organized escape from life-threatening hazard. And of course, always stay updated to local authorities' announcement.
Regina, how about the safety protocols? Should people travel during an eruption?
Stay indoors and keep the doors closed at all times to avoid inhaling ash. And if local authorities says that evacuation is necessary, people should immediately follow their instructions to ensure, as it will help to ensure their safety. And in terms of going outside, always wear a mask to avoid inhaling ash, wear a goggles or sunglasses, and of course, cover your skin because volcanic ash consists of tiny abrasive fragments of rocks, minerals, and volcanic glass that can cause severe skin irritation, rashes, and scratches. Lastly, avoid driving into a heavy ash.
Thank you for sharing your safety tips. Preparation is really important to help us save our lives during a disaster.
Thank you, Alicia. Safety protocols really matters because it can save our lives and we never know when they will come.
Thank you for sharing the preparation and safety protocols for us in Chile.
Thank you, Alicia. I'm glad to be here. It's my pleasure.
This segment is about the preparation and safety protocols. Stay safe and stay informed everyone.
As we're closing out our show, we hope you've learned something new about volcanoes, how they erupt, why they erupt, and the volcano's past history. Although some people think volcanoes are scary because they can be destructive, they are actually an important part of Earth's function and its change over time.
Let today be a day to continue to remain curious, educated, and respectful to Mother Nature's power. Thank you for coming along on this trip while discovering all of the things, the reasons they are there, and the history of one of the Philippines' most amazing natural attractions. Until we meet again, keep finding out new things, keep educating yourself, and please stay safe.
This is Shirley May A. Manalo.
And this is Aisha Madlen C. Gonzalez